Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing for you one of my favorite things at the moment, and it's honestly been one of my favorite things for a very long time, and that is an all shimmer palette. You're all like, Annette, there's been so many of these come out. Aren't you sick of them yet? Like, aren't they all the same? Let me tell you, they're not all the same. I really enjoy them still, and the one that we're going to be using today is from Bella Beaute Bar. Now, this is called the Angels of Illumination Volume 3. If you end up watching any of my Makeup Diary series and I talk about this palette, I'm probably just going to call it the Angels palette because I didn't realize until just recently that they've actually had 2 more of these in the past. But that was before I found the brand, so I didn't realize that, and the text here is so small that I really only read this part of it, but that is what we're going to be testing out today. So if you haven't seen this palette, it looks like this. It's a beautiful all shimmer palette. Like I said, I have been using this a lot. So I think have I done 3 or 4 looks now? I think I've done 3. Anyway, I will show you those at the end of the video. And I'm of course going to do 1 look on camera today. And I'm just really excited. This is a beautiful palette. One thing that I do want to just kind of ask, I guess, because one of you guys actually got me onto this, and you were like, is it called the Angels palette or the Angles palette? Because it actually says Angles on the front, but that doesn't really make sense to me with the theming and everything. So I think it's just a typo and it's supposed to be Angels and not Angles. So I'm really not sure, because this to me doesn't really make sense as the name of the palette. So maybe no one has noticed and it's just been a thing for a very long, I don't know. But we're going to be playing with this palette. This is going to launch tomorrow when you're seeing this, so on November 8th at 12 p.m. EST. I haven't found a price for this yet, so I don't know what this is going to cost, but I do have a 10% off affiliated code with Bella Beaute Bar. It's just Annette, and it will save you 10% if you're interested in picking this up. I really enjoy the brand. If there's anything other website that you're interested in, I definitely stand behind it, and I think that you're going to be very happy with whatever you get from the brand. So we're going to go ahead and play with this. I'm going to start by priming my eyes with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base as per usual. Now, as with all other looks that I usually do with all shimmer palettes, I do tend to pull in mattes because I'm not usually an all shimmer kind of look gal, but I actually have been sort of playing around with that a little bit. One of the looks that I did with this palette that I'll show you later, I only used 1 shimmer and that was it, and I thought the look turned out really good and it was super quick and easy to do. But for the most part, I really do enjoy my mattes, and I like having more kind of structured eye looks. I find that when I do use mattes, I'm able to kind of change the shape of my eyes a little bit to be kind of more what I want it to be. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. And I think I want this look to be sort of like green. Because I haven't really used this row at all, or this shade. So I want to focus on probably these 3 shades, because I feel like I've dipped into pretty much all of the rest of the palette. I think the only shades I haven't used after that will be these 2. So I'm not really sure. I probably could have made more of an effort to make sure I used all of them, but I just wanted to do the looks that I wanted to do. And I'm excited. I also do want to just say that I feel like this palette is, you know, with all these all shimmer palettes, a lot of the time there's a lot of the same shades in all of them, like across the board. And I feel like I haven't seen a lot of dupes for any of these colors and these formulas. Like, I feel like this one is a bit more unique than a lot of other all shimmer palettes, so I really like that about it. And I also like the square pan format. I do have a little bit of oil seepage. I'm not sure if you can see that on the shade right here, as well as, what was the other one that I saw earlier? Yeah, this one, just like right in the corner here. And I've had this palette now for probably 2 weeks or so, so I feel like it's not going to really get much worse than this, but just keep that in mind. I would recommend, if you get this palette and you feel the shades and they feel a little bit too oily, just to take a paper towel and press over the shades that are a little bit too kind of wet, because that way you'll get the extra oil to sort of just absorb out, and you shouldn't have this problem. At least that's been my experience so far. Just a little tip if you want to kind of avoid this, but I do like it being a white background because you can't really see it that well. So I'm gonna go ahead and find some green mattes that I want to use, and honestly, I'm just gonna use my Blend Bunny palette because it's just safe. I love them. I know it's gonna turn out good, so that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. So I think what I wanna do is I'm going to start by putting this shade in my crease and then probably deepen it up with this one. I think that's gonna be the plan. I want this to be a pretty simple look and just have like the shimmers be the stars of the show, because I mean, they are, and I want to show them off. So like I said, I'm gonna start with this color here, which is sort of a mustardy, yellowy green. It's called Serendipity. It's a beautiful color. I also, of course, have a code with Blend Bunny. It's just Annette as well, and it will save you 10% off. I'm pretty sure that the Blends palette from Blend Bunny, which is the one I'm using right now, is going to end up being my favorite palette of 2022. That is just, I'm putting it out here right now because I tried this palette super early this year, and it's probably the palette that I reach for the most in general throughout this year, because it's just, it has everything that I need. I always bring this when I travel because, like I said, it just has everything that I need. It goes well with all shimmer palettes, which I've been loving, so it just kind of makes sense. And I feel like this all shimmer palette is going to end up quite high as well, and these are going to be the perfect companion to each other, and I'm excited to be using them together. So I'm gonna wing this out a little bit. I do want a bit of a shape on this, but nothing too crazy or dramatic. This is such a cool color. I think this is one of the shades that I've used the least probably, and I don't know why, because this is so fun. Next, gonna go into the darker green and just deepen this up a little bit. Not gonna do anything fancy. I'm just gonna keep this a very, very basic eyeshadow shape, just so we can, like I said, focus more on the shimmers. So this is where I'm at. I'm not gonna do anything deeper than this. I think I'm just gonna keep it to these two colors. Again, I just want to make sure that the shimmers are the stars of the show. I am going to put on some of my NYX glitter primer because I really want these to shine. And I've been very impressed with the staying power with these. I haven't had really much creasing at all, and I've worn all of these for very, very long days, and I haven't had much of any issues at all, which is nice because sometimes those really creamy shades like this do tend to crease pretty badly on me. But as long as they stay on my eye and I can tap it out, I don't really mind it too much. But like I said, I haven't had too many problems with any of these. So I'm actually gonna start with this one and sort of use this to deepen up the outer corner. And it's also just going to help whatever other shimmers I end up using to just blend in a little bit better. So I'm just gonna kind of put this over the top of the green in the outer corner here as a bit of a deepening shade. So next to that, I'm gonna take the shade here, which I don't think I've used yet. This one is called Cetus, I think is how you say that. I could be very mistaken, but I have very high hopes that I'm going to absolutely love the shade because it is exactly what I thought it would be like. It is beautiful. Yep, that's really, really pretty. Really pretty. Ah, these are my favorite kind of shades. Can you tell? Just giving these two a good blend together so that they flow nicely, but that is exactly what I wanted out of this look. I think this is going to turn out very, very pretty. Nothing too crazy, but I just wanted this to be a simple, easy to recreate look that you can easily do with shades that you have at home if you don't have this palette, or just an easy color combination to put together that doesn't take too much effort but still just looks really nice. And then for the front portion of my lid, I'm not sure if this tone is really going to work with these because it is more of a sort of turquoise shade. I am tempted to use that, but also I don't know if it's going to go. I feel like it would maybe ruin this look a little bit, so I'm tempted to just leave it like this. But also I really want to use it, so we're going to use it. I'm going to regret this. I already know it, but it's fine. I'm just gonna put that in the inner corner of, oh, it's so pretty though. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Melt 420 palette. Is that what that was called? Like the Weed palette? This color story reminds me so much of that, like these shimmers put together. I feel like it's the exact same shimmers that were in that palette, and I remember doing something with sort of this color scheme when I reviewed it, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm not really regretting this too much. I think this is actually coming together quite nicely, and these colors are working better than I thought together. Yeah, this is really fun. I like this. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off with this eye look. I'm gonna put just a little bit of that right here as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and just finish off my eyes, probably do some lashes. I'll come back and show you all of the other looks that I've done with this palette and just sum it up, I guess. I would say give you my review, but I feel like you already know what I'm gonna say. Okay, so here is the final look. I love it, but then again, I don't think I've ever done an all green look that I didn't absolutely love, because I just think that green eyeshadow is so fun and it's one of my favorites. I'd say greens and blues, and especially together, oh, it really doesn't get much better. So I did pull in a little bit of blue. I'm not sure if you can see my eyeliner today, but I'm using one from Melt. I ended up getting this when they were having a sale not that long ago. It's one of their gel pot liners. I really like this formula. This is in the shade Slate. I did find this one to go over the top of these very, very shiny eyeshadows to be a little bit tricky, but I was able to build it up and I like the way that it ended up looking. My lashes today are from Auric, and these are the full lashes in the style Glass Wing. I obviously have cut them a little bit, but I really do like these lashes, and I don't know if I'm the only one, but I feel like my lashes just disappear. So I have the other one here as well, which is the style called Clouded, and I literally don't know where the actual lashes that are supposed to be in here are, because this one is empty, so I don't know what happened. I might have to make another order. If they have a Black Friday sale, I'm gonna pick up some more of these lashes because I really like them, and I also like having these boxes because I can store other lashes in them. And I actually brought this one with 2 pairs of lashes when I traveled for my wedding that I went to a couple of weeks ago, so it was perfect for that. So yeah, let me show you the other looks that I've done with this palette before I forget. I'll start by showing you the look that I did using just one shadow, and I used a shade called Orion, which is this one right here. It looks more like a purple in the pan, but I just put it all over my lid and I did some eyeliner. I didn't show me applying it because I felt like, what's the point? I mean, you know what it looks like to apply one eyeshadow. So that was basically one of the looks, and I really enjoyed it. It was so easy to do, and I might become more of a one and done eyeshadow kind of person. I do feel like I need to have some sort of a liner or something like that to go with it, but I really enjoy that look. So I'm going to show you the other looks that I've done. I probably won't show you the application of the mattes, but I will show you the mattes that I ended up pairing with the palette, and then I will show you the application with the shimmers as well. And I just have to say that I'm kind of biased. I mean, I love these kind of palettes, and one of the reasons I love all shimmer palettes is because it allows me to play more with the rest of my collection. Whereas if I have a palette that has shimmers and mattes, I feel like I only have to use that palette in order to create looks because I'm reviewing the palette, and so it doesn't make sense to pull in other things. But with all matte palettes or with all shimmer palettes, it allows me to pair it with other things that I really love in my collection, and that could just be a YouTuber kind of thing, but I'm someone who I really enjoy mixing and matching. I find that I can use my creativity a bit more and I don't feel as limited, but I also don't enjoy like super large palettes. So I like having sort of that base that tells me sort of what I have to work with, and then I can decide what's going to kind of go with that and then create a look based around the one thing that I'm sort of using from the one palette. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but for me, it's a really fun way for me to just do my makeup because it's how I usually do my makeup if I'm not filming anyway. So I really enjoy these all shimmer palettes. I think they're so fun and it just gives you so many options, and it's also nice to kind of force yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit when getting a palette like this, because I feel like there's nothing that tells you what to pair it with. Like, you have to come up with that yourself, and I think that's fun. So I had a really good time with all of these looks. I love the sort of blue look I did with a big wing. Like, that turned out so good. I felt so cool in that look. That was actually my Halloween look, so it wasn't very Halloween-y, but I felt really cute in it, and I really liked all the looks that I did with this palette. Like I said, if you're interested in this, I don't think that you can go wrong. I think that if you have a lot of all shimmer palettes, I still think that this would add something to your collection. If you feel like there are similar shades, maybe take a screenshot of this one and you know, go get your other all shimmer palettes and hold them up next to it. I feel like my colors in my videos are pretty accurate to what the colors actually look like in real life. So if you feel like there are dupes in the palettes that you already have with this one, maybe this palette isn't for you, but I really don't feel like I have a lot of dupes to the colors that are in this palette, especially in the same formulas. There might be like similar colors elsewhere, but I don't feel like they're complete dupes. So I really love this palette. I had such a good time playing with it. I loved all the looks that I did. And yeah, I think that if you pick it up, you're gonna like it too. I should probably mention my lipstick because this is one thing that I've talked about a little bit in the past, but this is a Gucci lipstick that I'm wearing, and I had the hardest time finding a lip liner to go with this lipstick because it's a very kind of yellow toned brown, and it's so hard to find lip liners that aren't like pink toned or just like too orange toned, and I feel like it's very hard to find something that goes with this. But for that melt sale that I picked up some stuff from, I also got this lip liner, and this is in the shade Sepia, and I paired this with this, and it's perfect. And I'm so happy because I had such a hard time being able to wear this lipstick because I didn't have a lip liner that went with it, and because it's such a contrasting color to my lip color, I really needed to have something that I was able to like line my lips with properly, and I never found the perfect lip liner. So I'm gonna be wearing this lipstick so much now because this is a wonderful formula and I really like it. I just have not had that lip liner to go with it, and now I do, and I'm so happy. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you wanna see some more Bella Beaute Bar content, I of course have a playlist up with that right there. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.